Hey, and welcome back to another video in the T&L Tips video series. This is focused on brief tips that can help you out in your teaching, primarily if you're working inside of Canvas, our learning management system. So today I'll focus on how to publish and unpublish elements in your class. This could include the entirety of the class, which is a big deal if you don't have it published. It could also include elements of your class. We often get emails forwarded from the instruction office where students say, hey, I really want to take this quiz, or I want to start module 4, but I can't. There's nothing there. And 100 times out of 100 times, the deal there is you haven't published that element. Canvas is very powerful, but it's also very tricky because it's not an on-off switch for the entire class. While there's a publish and unpublish for the class at the most macro level, everything in the class, if you don't have elements checked as published within your module structure, assignments, discussions, or certainly date ranges if something is out of the date range, then even though your entire class is published, students will not be able to see those elements as they open up, even though on your end you can maybe see them. Keep in mind that anytime you can use the student view, clicking on the right bottom corner of your Canvas page. That way you can easily see exactly which elements are open at the point in time in which you're looking at them to make sure that everything is published correctly. But I'll give you some additional tips here as we jump on the Canvas to see how you can really approach publishing elements in your class such that your students are able to see those elements. So let's jump on the Canvas now. Okay, so in this short overview of publishing, we're just going to talk about what items you need to publish in your class for them to be working for your students. So the first thing to know is that when you go to your dashboard, the first indication at the most macro level of whether your class is published or not is, does it appear like this, or does it have the publish button? If it has the publish button, what I need to do is hit that button. Now, I don't want that to be published, so what we're going to do is go back to it and then click Unpublished. And we're going to work with that technique in just a second. So let's go back one more time to look at the dashboard again. If you have questions about the tile layout of the dashboard, please watch my other T&L Tips video where I focus on how to set up your dashboard, how to import courses from the course menu, and so forth. But again, if you go to your dashboard and your course is there and active, and it says publish, you know the thing is not published. So you can either click that, it'll publish it, and move it up to the Publish Courses menu, or double click, and the minute you click on your home page, the top right corner is where you see the status of your class. If it's green, you're published. If it's red, you're not. So all I do is click that, and it is an instantaneous fix. And it is now published. Okay. Now watch as well, just when I go back and hit Unpublish, that again, it's red at the top. So very easy to remember that. So our first instance, or working with publishing and unpublishing, is at the course level, the most macro level. You access your course on dashboard. You can also click on your home button, and then top right corner, green is published, red is unpublished. Okay. Now there's a second instance of publishing that actually is more crucial. I think most faculty remember to publish their actual class, but this is the deal here. They often forget about publishing that goes on at this level. Now, once again, we have excellent color coding and user interface design. We know that if we publish our class, the green means go, the green means it's unpublished. If it's red, it means stop. But if you have your class published and you don't see your module content published, you're going to encounter some issues. And let me just show you some examples of this. Okay, if something is published at the module level in Canvas, and we can also publish things at the quiz level as well. If I go into a quiz and I unpublish it, okay, only teachers can see the quiz until it's published. Let's go back to our module structure and see what's happened to the color of our quiz 1 in our week 1 module. Wow, look at that. Okay, so it's grayed out. That indicates that it's not published. So I have two options always. I can go inside an assignment, a discussion board, a quiz, and publish there. But if you're on this module page and you see a particular item, regardless if it's a graded item or just a content page in your module, you just publish it right from here. Look how easy that is. I click that and it goes from gray to green. So as I look through this and I say, okay, all my modules are published, it looks like my class is ready to go, and I'm going to now, check it in Student View. Let's see what's going on. Is everything ready? I go to Student View, And I go to week 1 and I say, oh, wait a second. Okay, there's some stuff missing here. I actually don't have all the content I want. Let me leave Student View. Again, this is a great reason to use Student View. And go back to my modules. Okay, here's what's happening. So my entire Getting Started module wasn't published. Again, go back to Student View. It starts with the week 1 module. Well, that's a problem because I want the Getting Started to be visible to students. So I think to myself, okay, I'm going to see here that it's not published. It's grayed out. Hit the Publish button, green. It should be ready. But let's just say for the purposes of discussion and looking at things, I undo some of these. Now, when I go to Student View and view the modules, watch what happens. Oh, I'm missing half the content. Indeed, the module's showing, but I'm missing all those other bits. So let me leave Student View and go back and look at the error. Well, the error is I have the top structure, which is the overarching structure. So this is a header. When you go to add a new module, it is that top level. It's like in headings in a book. It is your top level heading, and then the things below it are the subheading. So if your heading or your top living or top existing bit of content defining the module is unpublished, everything below it is also going to be unpublished, even though this is greened out, right? This looks like it's published, but because this is blocking, if you will, the flow of water which comes from the top, it can't trickle down because the spigot is turned to off. Once I turn the spigot on, like this, then by default it publishes everything. But if I make a mistake and I do this, again, the best thing is I go to my Student View and then I look at the publishing and I say, well, I'm missing half the content. So then I leave my Student View and I go back to this and I say, well, that's the culprit. I need to make those active. So it's really pretty easy. And again, if you do this, if you unpublish and republish, by default, any of the items beneath the main header get published automatically. Look at that. They go to green. Okay, so it's kind of a fail-safe there, but I've seen this happen before where, so then if I have my opening survey unpublish and then I go to Student View, I look here, the opening survey is missing. So I leave Student View, I go back here and I discover, well, that needs to be published. I'll turn it green. So it's really easy to do, but this is one of the #1, I would say, errors that happens that I see with instructors where students encounter content that's not working, and the problem is they haven't published the module at the main header location, which again, everything flows down through that hose, if you will, and if the hose is turned off, everything else is not accessible, is not getting water. And I've also seen the second error being individual elements are unpublished and are missing, and the solution is to again look at things in Student View and then go back to your module structure and make the fix. So those are the 2 instances of publishing in your class. One is at the macro level with the class itself. The second one is assignments and modules that you need to identify at this much more micro level, going through the class and also using Student View to make sure that you haven't made those publishing mistakes. Okay, that's it today, talking about publishing elements in your Canvas class. I'll be back with additional videos here in the TNL Tips video series.